At 6 with Jim Jackson, Sherry Sanders, Ken Ford Weather, Jim Odie Sports, and the entire KSNU Center team.
Good evening, everyone. The man accused in the slashing death of a Joplin woman, will face a jury on first-degree murder charges.
Today, a judge determined that there is enough evidence to try Daniel Carver for murder. KSN's John Borick was at the preliminary hearing today and has the latest.
Determined today that there is sufficient evidence to bound over 31-year-old Daniel Brady Carver. Carver was arrested on October 16th for the murder of 34-year-old Gail Smith of Joplin. Carver will face a jury of his peers after the first of the year that will determine his guilt or innocence.
He was bound over for circuit court for trial on murder in the first-degree charges and armed criminal action charges. His next court date will be January 24th in Division 2 of the Circuit Court. That will be a motion hearing day, and I would imagine that a trial date would be set at that point in time.
A witness testified today that Carver told him about the murder. Police found Smith's body dumped on a gravel road behind a supply company in Joplin. Her throat had been slashed and she had contusions to the head. According to earlier reports, Smith and Carver knew each other from rehabilitation meetings, which both had attended that night. More on the motive behind the killing is expected to come out in the trial. After the arraignment, Carver was taken back to the Jasper County Jail in Carthage, where he will await trial for the death of Gail Smith. Bail in this case has been set at $101,000. At the Jasper County Courthouse, John Borick, KSN News Center.
Elsewhere this evening, the Ottawa County Grand Jury is looking into a Northeast Oklahoma nursing home, among other things.
KSN's Greg Elder has been following the jury proceedings and joins us now with an update. Greg?
Jim and Sherry, of course, grand jury proceedings are private, but we do know who meets with the panel. Late this afternoon, an assistant district attorney talked with the grand jury concerning the Quapaw nursing home. This is not the first we have heard about them. Last week, we told you about a couple claiming their son was over-medicated by personnel at the nursing home. Jurors also continue their investigation of the Miami School Board. They are the only officials in the county yet to be cleared by the probe. School board member Dean Hughes was the only witness called in connection with that case. Also, a witness was called to testify in connection to the 1989 murder of Raymond Frazier. That witness is Frank Crownover of rural Miami. Frazier was found dead next to a pond on his trout farm. Authorities say he was shot with a high-powered rifle from some distance. The grand jury also continues its investigation into the 1987 death of Guy Kreischer. Witnesses that spoke about that are Commerce Police Chief Bob Bain and a former Miami officer, Gary Ice. There is some speculation, Jim and Sherry, that the grand jury will wind up proceedings tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. In other news this evening, a Pittsburgh State University employee is facing charges of stalking and harassing a female student. Crawford County Attorney Barry Disney filed the charges against 25-year-old Carl Spencer. Officials say Spencer allegedly had been following and harassing the student throughout the semester.
An accident in Joplin this morning caused about 50 gallons of diesel fuel to spill onto a busy roadway. According to police, the accident happened when a semi-trailer truck ran the red light at the intersection of Range Line and Newman Roads and smashed into a car. The impact caused the truck's gas tank to burst. Either driver was badly hurt, and the Highway Department and Joplin Fire Department quickly had the spill cleaned up.
Officials in Florida are proposing a statewide curfew for youngsters to help curb crime. Under the proposal, children under the age of 16 would have to be home by 10 p.m. on school nights, and parents could be penalized if their children disobey. Tonight in our daily news poll, we're asking, do you think there should be a national curfew for teenagers? If you think there should be, you may call 1-900-446-1601. If you don't think there should be, call 1-900-446-1602. Each call costs 50 cents, and we'll have results tonight at 10.
And still to come tonight on KSN, some local firemen may soon have a new home.
And a local hospital is having to prepare for a delivery. We'll be right back. KSN's Cheryl Matthews reports Fort Scott's Fire Department unveiled a brand new look today for some residents. The renovation spells safety.
Yeah. Members of Fort Scott's Fire Department had one of their busiest days all year, but they weren't fighting fires. They were showing off their new $400,000 facility.
It's going to be a gradual type move. We still have cabinets that will be placed in here with countertops where the dispatch will be.
The firefighters are moving into this 8,000 square foot facility, equipped with a kitchen, family room, sleeping quarters, and office space. But the bulk of the building is this garage, which will house the department's new fire truck. This project started about a year and a half ago when the ladder on the fire department's old truck failed to work. That's when they decided they needed to buy a new one, but all the new trucks like this one were too big to fit into the fire department's old facility. That building was built in 1891, but now firefighters have a new facility and they say the fit is just right.
Our new facility modernizes that and easily accommodates our current apparatus. It'll give us a central location within the community to operate from, which would enhance our response times to some of those areas.
And some residents are already feeling safer.
I love the new fire station. I think I just live down the street, and I think it's just going to be so nice.
Firefighters still have a little unpacking to do, but they're looking forward to getting settled in their new home. In Fort Scott, Cheryl Matthews, KSN News Center.
After 18 years, an area hospital is resuming its obstetric services. St. John's Regional Medical Center of Joplin will reintroduce its labor and delivery division. If all goes as planned, the OB unit will be operable by next summer. It will be located on the 3rd floor and initially consist of 4 birthing rooms. Officials think its service will help keep prices down throughout the region.
Are we afraid of competition? No. We're going to offer this at an extremely competitive price. We're going to control our costs so that we can be successful in health care. And we really think from a community point of view, our entry will actually produce a more competitive price rather than a higher price.
St. John's will provide basic obstetric services instead of duplicating expensive services already available throughout the area. When illness strikes a young child or infant, it affects the entire family. Tonight in our 12 Days of Christmas, we meet a Baxter Springs, Kansas family that is pulling together to fight cerebral palsy with a little help from the Children's Miracle Network. 2.5-year-old Megan Jones, like a lot of toddlers, enjoys playing with her older sisters. But Megan is working to overcome an obstacle. She has a form of cerebral palsy.
She's developmentally delayed. She'll be 3 in March, and she don't crawl or she don't walk. She's trying real hard, but she's probably like a year and a half behind what she should be.
Megan requires weekly therapy at home and until recently required therapy 3 times a week in Joplin. In the past year, Children's Miracle Network purchased a special chair for Megan.
We had got one, and our insurance said that they would pay for it. And then after we got it, they wouldn't pay for it. So we had to try to find another way, and we didn't have the money, and the network bought Megan a chair. Without it, I wouldn't be able to take Megan into a lot of places because she can't sit in a shopping cart, and it helps keep her proper posture when she's watching TV. And
the telethon also has helped the Jones with trips and stays at Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. Now taking care of a child with special needs can be difficult, but Tanya says the entire family helps to make things work.
And they're pretty special to her, and they all play really good together, and they help me. If it wasn't for them and Dad, I don't know what I would do.
And thanks to your generosity, Megan has a bright future.
It's going to be up to Megan, really, you know, what she's going to want to try to do and be able to do, but her prognosis is good.
And if you would like more information on the Children's Miracle Network, you may contact the Freeman Foundation, care of Freeman Hospital, located at 1102 West 32nd Street in Joplin. Zip code is 64804.
Well, tonight, Ken Ford is on the road, and this cold weather kind of reminds us that we need coats for kids.
We really do, Jim and Sherry. I know you guys are kind of the spokesman and spokeswomen for the project, but I came out to do the weather at the mall to remind everybody Coats for Kids is still going on. We want to thank Sherwood Cleaners and our friends at North Park Mall and KSN and that sort of thing. We're going to talk to Captain Michael Thomas from the Salvation Army. They're in on it, too.
Sounds like a winner, and the deadline's drawing near to get those coats in.
Yeah, it really is. So we just wanted to kind of remind folks about it.
Sounds good.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, Ken.
Yeah. Systems, Sony Hi-Fi systems, and Pioneer components, all with sound savings during Westco's holiday sale.
Put it in the bin to help some youngster. It would be a very worthwhile thing to do, you know?
Good project.
Yeah, really.
All right, thanks, Ken. Just stay in the world.
We're getting a truck that's fully loaded. Plus, after 24 months, you can get a new truck. Buy the one you got or just walk from the whole deal. No ball and chain here. So if you want, need, or just gotta have a pickup, check out the lowest lease ever on the Ford F-150. Only at your Ford dealer, the Truck Authority.
And in sports tonight, the wait is over up at Columbia.
That's right. It took a while, but they finally got some things done up there, and new reason for optimism once again. A new head coach that has been successful in the past, has a winning program in the past, and things are kind of looking up, at least for the time being, in Columbia. All right, everybody, it took the University of Missouri a while to make up their minds, but when they did, they took care of a lot of unfinished business in a hurry. Today, the Tigers named Associate Athletic Director John Castiglione to succeed Dan Devine, and not long after that, the Tigers named former Southern California head coach Larry Smith to succeed Bob Stoll as head football coach. Smith has been a college coach for 17 years, but has been out a year after finishing a 6-year contract with the USC Trojans. He was 33, 12, and 2 at SC, including a string of 19 in a row at one point. The official announcement of Smith's hiring will come tomorrow. Kansas State is awaiting their second bowl game in school history, the December 29th Copper Bowl against Wyoming. And interest in Manhattan is high. So far, the athletic department has sold 10,000 tickets that it was allotted. The Cats say they're trying to get more, and they're still taking orders. Athletic Director Max Urich says those 10,000 tickets were sold in just 15 days. On to basketball. It was another day of improvement for former Duke guard Bobby Hurley. Hurley, who was injured late Sunday night in a car accident, has been removed from a ventilator and is receiving fluids by mouth. Meanwhile, police investigators are awaiting the results of a blood test on the driver of the other car that hit Hurley's four-wheel drive. Police want to determine if the driver was under the influence of drugs. On to baseball, the Texas Rangers lost another free agent today. You remember first baseman Rafael Palmeiro left the Rangers earlier this week. Today it was second baseman Julio Franco. The former Cleveland Indian had signed with the Chicago White Sox. Franco hit .289 with 14 homers and 84 runs batted in despite battling injuries. He is a career .300 hitter and led the American League in hitting just 2 years ago at a .341 clip. Golf World Magazine is reporting that John Daly will miss the first dozen events of this coming season. Daly is serving a tour-imposed suspension and undergoing alcohol rehab under the terms of that ban. Daly was suspended after quitting during the Kapalua International in Hawaii. Daly says he will not play competitive golf before his return, scheduled for the Freeport-McMoran Classic in New Orleans, the week before the Masters Championships. Also tonight at 10, we'll take a look at not only some NBA action, but again, check in with the update on the condition of Bobby Hurley and have eye poppers for this week.
Good enough.
All right, thanks, Tim. And when we come back, it was the first ever.
Okay, and we'll talk about our hero of the month, I assume. We'll be right back.